So lately there has been a lot of talk about things which are supposedly killing gaming. From Five Guys to people making hashtags begging for games they never bought. But possibly one of the worst trends has got to be overzealous fanboyism, or as many people call it, being a corporate slave to a company. I've seen people get attacked for leaking games early. Normally, when people leak games, people will get proud that the game is leaked. And, well, if it's a successor or a sequel to a game they loved as a kid, they'll hype the crap out of it. I've seen this happen so many times. Or, for example, whenever there's something like a remake of an old video game, people will hype the crap out of that too. I mean, I've seen it happen a lot, such as with Halo, the Master Chief Collection, or the Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which were rumored for years and years, but when they finally got confirmed, people were literally going nuts. But of course, when it comes to some companies, such as a certain company which believes that using processors from a 90s Macintosh is next gen, people get attacked. I've seen people try to make stuff up as proof you can fake anything. I've seen people criticize the quality of leaks. I've seen people rejoice when people who leaked games are arrested and sued. I've seen people deny these leaks are real. And even in one case, I've seen people believe a piece of fan art is real instead of the official design, before going and doing a 180 and embracing what they thought was fake and, well, that design that people were hating. I've seen it happen several times. And I've also heard at least one case of somebody getting doxxed because they weren't releasing game information fast enough from this certain company that uses 90s Macintosh technology. I've seen people slam games as being trashy and flops because they got 50 to 60 Metacritic scores, from Rice to Knack to Nintendo Land and the new Super Mario Bros. Series. But yet, when these same people who are talking about one of those games and it's on their favorite console, they'll talk about how underrated it is. They'll talk about how critics just don't get it. They'll say, have you even played the other game, despite not playing the other game they talk about so much. I've seen people try to justify that game consoles need new tacked-on features. I've seen people defend Kinect, the Wii Remote, the Wii U Gamepad, and saying that that's what truly makes gaming next-gen, and not power boosts despite Moore's Law and newer technology. But then when another company tries the same gimmick, it's either a gimmick or a ripoff. Just look how people were viewing the PlayStation Move relative to the Wii Remote. I've seen people defend controversial changes in series they worship, but at the same time criticizing games such as Dead Space 3. All while continuing to buy games such as Pokemon X and Y, or Bioshock Infinite, games that were even more watered down than their predecessors. And this mentality is why I actually left a fan base for a major game franchise. People are unwilling to criticize anything. They have to buy everything. They have to defend everything. They have to attack everybody who leaks info, or who tries to criticize the game and wants it to be better. Because let's be honest here, the only thing worse than a company that doesn't fix their games up is a company where nobody is willing to criticize anything with a fan base like that. I mean, let's be honest. Imagine how Battlefield 4 would have been now if there were a bunch of people saying when it was all buggy, there's nothing wrong with the game, it's the best game ever. You know what would have happened, right? The game would have died by now. I mean, just take a look at Titanfall. And here's the thing. Everybody knows that, let's be honest, if a company doesn't listen to you, whatever happened to just voting with your wallet. I'm seeing people talk about boycotting games, and yet let's not forget the whole infamous Modern Warfare 2 PC boycott, which ended up with a whole Steam group dedicated to boycotting the game, shelling out $60, because keep in mind, new release games on Steam, especially by big AAA publishers, don't go on sale. On a game they said they were going to boycott. What does this say about gaming? I mean, unless you're a PC-only gamer, is it really that hard to go on GameFly, to go to Family Video, to go to a Redbox, and rent the games? I mean, I see people talking about boycotting the games, but if you really want to buy the game, you don't have to buy the game. You can rent the game. You can borrow the game. You can do all sorts of things to not buy the game. I mean, Sonic Boom, back in February, I wanted that game. Lots of people wanted that game. And look now. Sega hasn't listened to feedback, and what are many people doing? They're not going to buy that game. And that whole straw man I've seen where I've seen people say that you're going to like the game, so stop criticizing it. Here's the thing. That's directly a result of people like this. And let's be honest here. If gaming had fewer rabid fanboys or corporate slaves who will happily buy every single game out there, even if they don't like it, they'll be lining up for the next one, they're the reason Sonic is still stuck in a gutter after years and years of games that are just trash. And all in all, complaining does make a difference. There are so many examples I could name where people have complained and companies have changed. For example, take a look at, the Nintendo 3DS. They finally added Miiverse support, even though they haven't fixed the damn DRM. They've changed a lot of things. They really have. And speaking of Sonic 4 and stuff like that, Sonic 4 was going to be a lot worse than it actually was. And the mobile version of the game shows you how the game originally was. And you know what happened? The game ended up getting better reviews than it would have gotten. Of course, the game was still a disaster. It was still a trashy game. But at least it was better than it could have been. And about Sonic Boom, I'm going to be honest with you. The developer of the game leaving the forums just so they could avoid criticism and hard questions such as why was the game downgraded or why does the game have a poor frame rate shows the integrity of these developers. They will run from questions and feedback. That is all. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more. Because let's be honest here. Vote with your wallets, people. Whatever happened to doing that? That is all.